Welcome to Where My Girl's At, a Textured Heir podcast about women in hip-hop. We're your hosts, Mariah,
Shermee,
and Brianna. This podcast is meant to recenter the narrative about hip-hop culture around the people it came from.
Black women.
We're talking rappers, writers, producers, behind the scenes, the women who've made hip-hop culture popular culture.
And this first season is dedicated to the renaissance of women in hip-hop we've experienced over the past 10 years, from Pink Friday to Wet Ass Pussy and everything in between.
If you like this podcast, please be sure to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and make sure you are subscribed. It really helps. You can listen to this podcast on Spotify, iTunes, and Anchor.fm.
Or right on the website, texturedheir.com, where you can find more content dedicated to the metamorphosis of Black women.
Now let's get into it.
By now it's clear that there's a new queen of rap, and her name is Nicki Minaj. There isn't a music chart or radio station that Nicki's presence doesn't grace. Nicki Minaj is a movement. But as the movement gets bigger, more women are inspired to come play the game, which brings us back to the age-old question, can there only be one female rapper dominating at a time? In this episode, we're looking at the groundwork that has been laid by female MCs from the 80s and uncover why the idea of only one rap girl prevails to this day. In the early 80s, the hip-hop scene still belonged to those who created it, Black people. Major record labels were busy turning hip-hop into a profitable genre, but hip-hop looked nothing like we know it today. Sure, there was Def Jam releasing LL Cool J and Beastie Boy records, but the airwaves were still dominated by rock and roll and Madonna. Run DMC, Def Jam, and Sugar Hill Records were on the rise, yet many of the rules of hip-hop were still determined by those on the ground. Although in most hip-hop focused documentaries, women are often excluded from the conversation surrounding the start of hip-hop, or their roles exist on the fringes of the conversation, yet women have played a major role in hip-hop's early success. Need we even mention Sylvia Robinson, the mother of hip-hop and founder of Sugar Hill Records? A woman who took the pain and turmoil of the Bronx's poorest residents and turned it into Sugar Hill Records, which spawned hip-hop's first hits, Rapper's Delight by Sugar Hill Gang, and The Message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. We don't need to go there today, but it is worth noting. In fact, Joan Morgan, a Jamaican-American artist who coined the term hip-hop feminism, makes an excellent point about it in Ava DuVernay's 2010 documentary, My Mic Sounds Nice, The Truth About Women in Hip-Hop.
In the 80s, hip-hop still belonged very much to the streets. And in the streets, we were a presence. In the streets, we were B-girls. We had a very empowered position that allowed for a lot of different diversity.
Even if women weren't in the mainstream yet, they were deeply ingrained in the culture. They were the creators of hip-hop culture as we know it now. The work from girl groups like the Mercedes Ladies would help keep the hip-hop scene alive. Although these ladies never recorded or released any of their songs, the visuals of 4 black girls in a rap group grabbed everyone's attention. The sequence, an all-girl group signed to Sugar Hill Records at the time, caught the attention of many listeners as well. Their hit song, Funk You Up, became the 3rd rap song to chart on the Billboard's Hot Soul single, peaking at number 15, and gave us the talented Angie Stone, American singer, songwriter, actress, and producer, best known for her certified gold debut album, Black Diamond, and songs like No More Rain and More Than a Woman. Side note, the sequence is actually credited for recording the 2nd hip-hop song ever. Women such as Lady B and MC Shyrock from the Funky 4+1 will continue to pave the way to create a foundation for women on the mic. MC Shyrock would be the first female on national TV alongside her group to perform on SNL in 1981.
Get on your mind when you're ready to rock.
Cause the sun won't shine, the rain won't stop. We got the style you call punk rock. Let's get about the jail, stop the house and ball. We're 2 DJs, 1 4, plus 1 to the people out there. We want y'all to know we are the ones with the magical show. We're 2 DJs, the 5 MCs, 4 other fellas, plus 1 is me. We're here to please everybody out there. Forget about the problems, get about your hands. Just get on the Lord, don't you be shy. You can do and try. To the people out there, we want the best. Special guarantee is what we possess. Shoot it back on the mic with a master plan. We do it for the girl, for the boy, the man. Most people go around just thinking anyway. We want you to hear what we say. The things we say, the things we do. It's like running a race and the low compute. That's a line, the competition to be. But we are the ones, they are the ones. I am the one with the motion need. The fucking ball got rhymes galore. I'm the plus one more shine and I'm down below. Rock well, don't stop my level. Just get on the mic, just get on the mic, just get on the mic when you're ready to rock.
While female rappers were creating music with their male counterparts, the ultra-talented Roxanne Shante is dissing them.
Shante is live on stage. The people are dating before the curtains are raised. All of a sudden, I'm here to amaze. The audience just cheers, top hats in the air. Entertainers come here for the world premiere. I walk to the mic, all the fellas get hyped. Then I start to jam for the whole damn night, right? The crowd is pleased, I can rock them with ease. It's 70 degrees and MC still freeze. No thoughts of guns, cause everyone's having fun. The job gets done, I put MCs on the run, cause live on stage. Live on stage. Live on stage. Shante is live on stage. Say ho!
In 1984, a rap group from Brooklyn, New York called UTFO, which consisted of Kango Kid, Educated Rapper, Dr. Ice, and Mixed Master Ice, released a song titled Roxanne, Roxanne. The song was about a woman who would respond to their catcall, gaining much airplay. After the song was released, 14-year-old Lolita Shante Gooden linked up with Tyrone Williams, DJ Mr. Magic, and producer Molly Mall, who's referenced in Biggie Smalls' smash hit Juicy, to create a diss track to the group after hearing them talk about how the group UTFO didn't show up for a show they had promoted. Roxanne's Revenge was released in late 1984, selling over 250,000 copies in New York alone. The song was direct and confrontational, which caused UTFO to release a response track, creating what is known as the Roxanne War. Over 100 records related to this feud dominated the radio, creating what we know as He Say, She Say battles.
UTFO crew, you know what you can do. Let me tell you one for me, and then I'll tell you one for you. And every time you say a rhyme, just like a this, it ain't nothing that I don't want to miss. And if you think it's right and I'm right in your beat, well then you just better know and listen to me. Because my name is Roxanne and I came to say I rock this is a beat and I do it this way.
Roxanne's battle rapping talent kept her name in the audience's ears. Her fearless attitude and strength to challenge men caused her to create many enemies in the game, while also opening doors for more female MCs just like her. Rap group Salt and Pepper followed behind Roxanne Shantae's lead, responding to Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick's song Showstopper in order to create a lane for themselves. With their unique hairdos and suggestive dance moves, Salt and Pepper broke through with their hit Push It.
Salt and Pepper's here and we're in effect. Want you to push it back. Cooling by day and then at night, working up a sweat. Come on girl, let's go. Show the guys that we know how to become number one in a hot body show. Now push it.
At the time, calling men out was the only way women could get noticed as rappers. Talent compared to their male counterparts outweighed their looks. People wanted to see if women could hang with the boys. If a woman was able to hold her own on the mic, she was considered legit. Women like Lisa Lee and MC Shyrock dominated their male counterparts. MC Lyte took the throne after the success of Roxanne Shante. Not only was MC Lyte the first female artist to sell millions of singles and albums, but her progressive lyrics helped popularize hip-hop socially conscious rap in the midst of the garishness and flashiness of the 80s. Her music touched on topics such as racism, sexism, and the drug epidemic that took over her hometown of Brooklyn. Thanks, Ronald Reagan. Male rappers are often given a lot of credit for conscious rap, but women like MC Lyte were pioneers in making it mainstream. Before NWA's Straight Outta Compton, released in 1988, and Public Enemy's Fight the Power, released in 1989, MC Lyte released her debut single, I Cram to Understand You Sam, in 1987, which is about the crack era starting in the early 1980s.
Just like a test, just like a test, just like a test, I cram to understand you.
Although the single did not receive the same commercial success as her male counterparts, the single showed the emotion of then 12-year-old Light as she processed her time visiting her mom at work and seeing a slew of heroin and crack addicts in and out of the hospital. MC Lyte was the first female rapper to release a solo album with her 1988 critically acclaimed Light as a Rock that reached number 50 on the Billboard's Top Black Albums chart, as well as being the first rapper to perform at Carnegie Hall, the first female rapper nominated for a Grammy, and the first female rapper to have a single go gold. MC Lyte helped make a path for other like-minded women to shake up and stir the rap game, like Queen Latifah, whose artistry encouraged women to embrace their heritage, their curves, and their mind, and Salt-N-Pepa, who became the first hip-hop group to go multi-platinum and who addressed social issues like the dangers of drunk driving and the importance of safe sex. For women, the 80s can be described as a foundation. Women were allowed to be themselves and make their own rules. Every woman had a space and was heard. Their lyrics and writing skills spoke for themselves. The idea of women being in competition with one another doesn't take center stage until the 90s, as hip-hop leans into rap beef for profits.
Ooh, ladies first, ladies first. Ooh, ladies first, ladies first. Ooh, ladies first, ladies first.
As we step into the 90s, women MCs are finding similar or more success compared to the 80s. Queen Latifah continues to create hits, seeing major success in her single, UNITY, peaking at number 23 on the Billboard charts in 1994. Salt-N-Pepa continues to push the boundaries with songs like Shoot, Do You Want Me, and What a Man, peaking at number 3 on the Billboard chart. MC Lyte also sees herself on the Billboard chart with Act Like You Know and Ain't No Other. We don't see the fruit of their labors until 1995. The mid-90s is often seen as the golden era of rap for women. Male rappers such as Tupac, Snoop Dogg, Nas, and many more begin to find commercial success in the mid-90s, which begins rap music influence on pop culture. Songs like Warren G's Regulate and Notorious B.I.G.'s Big Papa are crossing genre lines on the Billboard charts and are enjoyed by not only black people, but suburban white teens as well. A new form of hip-hop is entering the pop space, and with that, women are needed to balance the act out. This causes record labels to go on the hunt for female counterparts to male rappers. During the 80s, only about 10 women got the shine they deserved, while the 90s nearly tripled that number. Many women were signed to record labels, actually touring, and had singles on the radio. Labels were starting to back women. The push to find a female artist gave many women the opportunity to be in the spotlight. One of the easiest ways for women to take up space in hip-hop in the 90s was with a crew of males. From Yo-Yo with Ice Cube, Eve with Rough Riders, The Brat with So So Def, Foxy Brown with The Firm and later Rockefeller, and Lil' Kim with Junior Mafia / Bad Boy, a woman's talent was considered valuable if a male co-signed them. Very similar to how Nicki Minaj's come up in the rap game has a lot to do with her ties to Young Money / Lil Wayne. These men molded their female counterparts into the artists they wanted them to be. Some saw this as chivalry, others thought it was disgusting and played into the misogynistic traits of hip-hop.
Why do you need male rappers to validate the fact that this female has got skills?
It's almost chivalry, but not really.
It has to have a stamp of a man.
If a dog want to walk you into the label and that dog got a good reputation, everybody love him, let the dog walk you in and get signed at the end of the day.
It is what it is. I never really thought about it one way or the other, whether it's chivalry or sexist. It is what it is. Thank you. Regardless of what it is, thank you for opening the door.
Lil' Kim was a developed artist by Biggie, and you could tell. Brat was a developed artist by me. Salt-N-Pepa was a developed artist by Herbie Lovebug. You have to put work in to make these artists work. You can't just put them out.
Historically, these women weren't able to survive without their male counterparts. By 1996, certain crews began to fall apart, and women had to carry the weight of their careers themselves. Rapper Lady of Rage, former member of Death Row, reflects on how the process of creating her album was different from the rest of the group.
When it was time for my album, at that time, the dynasty was crumbling. Tupac got shot, Suge got locked up, Dre left, Snoop left. So it was basically just me. It wasn't like The Chronic. It wasn't like Doggy Style. It wasn't like the Dog Pounds album where we would go in and we would just hang out all day and we would just be there. It was like, it's just me in there by myself.
Although women were a part of the beginning stages of creating hip-hop and the backbone for many rap crews, the genre became male-dominated. Hip-hop reflected the sentiment towards women in everyday life. What was once seen as a collaboration with women was now of men often pushed in the foreground of spaces because they were seen as strong, less emotional, and easier to work with. Women required a lot of maintenance with hair, makeup, and stylists, while men can come as they are. As hip-hop was becoming more profitable, the expenses towards women outweighed the need for them. If a woman wanted to thrive in this space, she had to come up with something that would allow her to stand out from the man and worth the label's money.
If Peter Piper pecked him, I bet you Biggie bust him. He probably tried to fuck him. I told him not to trust him. Lyrically, I dust him. Off like Pledge, hit hard like sledgehammers. Bitch with that platinum grammar.
In 1996, Foxy Brown and Lil' Kim both dropped their debut albums. Lil' Kim released Hardcore on November 12, 1996, as Foxy Brown's Il Na Na was released on November 19, 1996. Il Na Na would debut at number 7 on the Billboard 200 and sold over 109,000 copies in its first week, becoming certified platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America within 3 months of its release. Hardcore would find similar success, debuting at number 11 on the US Billboard 200 and selling 78,000 copies within its first week. The days of the seemingly cutesy aesthetic that often penetrated the women in the rap sphere was gone, and now into rap surrounding sexuality and femininity from women. Lyrics such as from Lil' Kim's track Big Mama Things,
yeah, you got it going on. I used to be scared of the dick. Now I throw lips to the shit. Handle it like a real bitch.
And
you know the Nana is all that. That's why I give baguettes and Lazarus and all that. In fact, my sex game's all that. Cause when I do my thing, no turning back, bitch.
From Foxy's song, Fox Boogie, took audience by surprise. With their raunchy lyrics and skimpy outfits to match their sound, both Kim and Foxy were able to take ownership of their womanhood and introduce the rap game to something different for women. The commercial success of these albums gave hip-hop labels a new function to the equation of creating a successful female rap artist: sex appeal. As both of these women continued to grow as artists, work with different major high fashion brands, appear on other musicians' albums and songs, and much more, tension between the ladies grew. Hip-hop mirrors real life, and in real life, when too many women are successful in one room, they have to battle to survive. Rumors began to spread about both ladies no longer liking each other, later leading to a shootout injuring one of Foxy Brown's entourage members. This feud ignited the notion that only one woman can play the rap game, and all must fall behind her. Before Foxy's and Lil' Kim's major blowout, many women in the 90s were subjected to comparisons. From Missy Elliott, Eve, and Lauryn Hill, all of these women were compared to one another, although they brought different vibes to the rap space. This is how misogyny presents itself in hip-hop, constantly pitting women against each other. As time went on, there was only space for one woman, and she had to fit the mold. Sex appeal like Lil' Kim and Foxy, a male's cosign, uniqueness in order to stand out compared to male rappers, and lyrical talent like the women of the 80s. The 2000s began the decline of women rapping in hip-hop. Women were becoming less represented in hip-hop, and many labels no longer wanted to deal with them for multiple reasons. Missy Elliott got sick, Lil' Kim went to jail, Left Eye died, etc., etc., etc. Frankie Kelly, co-host of NPR's podcast Microphone Check, said, Trina was sort of moving between labels. She was still around playing shows, but she wasn't in the album release cycle conversation. Latifah got into movies, the Brat started doing radio. All this shit happened in a 5-year span. As the number of female rappers dwindled down, the mindset of only one increased. We went from Lauryn Hill winning 5 solo Grammys in 1998 with The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, which is credited as the first rap album to win Album of the Year, and Women in Rap having their own category at the Grammys in 2002 and 2003, both won by Missy Elliott, to a drought of women in rap. A 2012 George Mason University study on gender issues and their impact on organizational culture and performance revealed that women are less supportive of other women in conditions where they're both underrepresented in a workspace and feel that there are only a few opportunities for advancement. What that means is the smaller the space for women to succeed, the more likely they are to turn on each other for success. As we apply this theory to hip-hop, once the leading cast for female rappers dwindled, the space for women in hip-hop is restricted by default. If there are fewer women rapping at a prominence level, there's less room needed for them. That tightened space in the rap landscape was the perfect breeding ground for competition. Kiana Fitzgerald wrote in her piece for Complex titled, "Why Can There Only Be One Dominant Woman in Rap?"
Do you know that you was signing the queen of rap, nigga?
As for Nicki Minaj, record labels, media, and fans didn't allow any woman to step into the rap game without putting them against her. Fan base, the Barbs, questioned any woman who had small similarities to Nicki. As Kier Fury from the podcast The Read puts it, they're not even allowed to stick a thigh through the door before someone says, "Who is this bitch trying to come in here and rap that isn't Nicki Minaj?" Rapper Baby Mother talked about her encounter with the Barbs after dropping a successful single on YouTube. "People were trying to tell me that I should have sold it to Nicki," she said. "And I'm just like, why would I do that? Why? People take what I say the wrong way. I was just like, Nicki couldn't have made a song like this. And I said this because it came from a personal space." Female rappers coming up after Nicki couldn't go anywhere without being connected to her in some form. Radio personalities are asking questions about Nicki. The internet is analyzing every woman's lyrics, and record companies are making sure the artists are seen as underdogs to defeat her. You make a wrong tweet, you got beef with Nicki. You big up yourself on your song, you got beef with Nicki. You don't mention her name as an inspiration, you got beef with Nicki. And the list continues. No matter what a woman said or didn't say, everyone knew how to turn something into a rap girl beef. For the record, a lot of these women didn't really have a problem with one another. Many of these beefs were made up because during the time, only one woman could stand. What started off as nothing later turned into a Nicki versus the world situation. Iggy Azalea seemed to be a promising artist who would be able to stand next to Nicki. Her song Fancy peaked at number 1 on the Billboard's Top 100 charts in 2014, but after the release of her debut album, The New Classic, Iggy's popularity went down after rumors about her songwriting ability started to spread. Writing your own rhymes in hip-hop is huge. Unlike singers, rappers are known for their writing skills and the lyrics they produce. Talks of having a ghostwriter, someone who writes your lyrics for you, can make or break your career in rap, especially for women. At the 2014 BET Awards, Nicki Minaj made a comment during her speech that many thought was directed at Iggy, which later on that week, Nicki clarified on Twitter that she wasn't targeting Iggy Azalea. Brooklyn native Azalea Banks also showed signs of being able to hang with the Minaj, but her self-destructive ways and feud with former record label Interscope caused a delay in her album release, Broke with Expensive Taste. From Lil' Kim to Iggy Azalea and Azalea Banks, the space for all these women to thrive didn't exist. Women weren't allowed the same opportunity as their male counterparts. Men are given the space to tour together, make joint albums, and more, while women had to come with the entire package in order to get small airtime, and when that does happen, it's often faced with criticism, comparison, and drama. Rap as a business has shown a remarkable inability to cultivate 2 or more queens at the same time. The question of whether only one rap girl could dominate the space continues to live until 2014, when an old, yet new competitor is released from jail. But we'll tackle that next week.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Where My Girl's At, brought to you by Textured Heir, a brand dedicated to celebrating Black girl culture, past, present, and future. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. It really helps. You can find us on Twitter at WhereMyGirlsAt2 and Instagram, WhereMyGirlsAt_TH. Make sure you check out our other podcasts, Does It Hold Up?, The Blacklist, and all the other content we offer on our website, texturedheir.com. Until next time.